So yesterday we went to the Victoria and Albert Museum, and it was so incredible. After the tour was over, I went and saw an exhibit called Pearls. This exhibit is basically about the history of pearls and their meaning and evolution and jewelry and fashion and culture. The first thing I learned in this exhibit is that pearls are not formed by a grain of sand entering an oyster. It's specifically parasites. It has the membrane and do stuff and cells multiply, and there was a really cool video, but I don't understand all that stuff. So there's a link in the doobly-doo if you guys are interested in how that happens. Of course, civilizations lacked the technology that we possess today to make convincing artificial ones, or to cultivate them in mass quantities, so they were rare. In the beginning, sort of a royalty-only club, but that changed after a while because, you know, people usually want what royalty have if it's something like jewelry or clothing. The white, almost iridescent hue that they are known for were perfect details in religious paintings in which they represent purity and perfection. Christianity claimed this particular meaning of chastity very early on, and depicting the Virgin Mary adorned with pearls was very common in religious works of art. By the early 17th century, pearls represented virtuous femininity, marital fidelity, and fertility. Besides that, drop pearl earrings were being increasingly worn by men. Not two earrings, just the one. In fact, we were shown an example of this today on our tour in King Charles I's portrait, which, amusingly enough, features 3 of him. The third Charles, all the way on the right, is shown wearing a pearl drop earring. Another funny thing is that the very earring he's wearing in this painting was in the exhibit today, and when he was executed, they took the earring off post-mortem. So later on in the 17th century, pearls sort of acquired this seductive and bordering on erotic connotation. This was probably due to the changing fashions. Necklines were going down, so large and elaborate jewelry was used to cover up all that cleavage. But this racy meaning didn't last too long, though. As they had before, they represented femininity, purity, fidelity, but they started to represent love more and more. Intimate love, the kind that causes pain and grief. Jewelry with pearls were very often given as engagement or wedding presents. For their 3rd wedding anniversary, Albert gave Victoria a brooch made out of Scottish pearls. Inscribed on the back was, "From Albert, February 10th, 1843. The Scottish bit is important because it was meant to be a reminder of their first time visiting Scotland that previous year. This gift showed the first meaning of true and intimate love. And in 1861, when Albert died, Victoria commissioned pieces of jewelry to be made with black pearls as a sign of her mourning, which also fulfills the second meaning of grief from love. Which moves us into the 19th century. We're starting to see a desire for more naturalistic designs. Regular and traditional clasps and chains are given branches and twigs, flowers and leaves. Then, of course, you have the Empress Eugenie of France, a huge influence in fashion in the mid-1800s. She adored Marie Antoinette, and this definitely reflected in what she wore. She favored bows and garlands and flowers in her jewelry and her clothing. She definitely started a trend towards naturalistic / animalistic jewelry. Hummingbirds and insects particularly. She also sort of inspired this whole idea of using oddly shaped pearls to create jewelry in the shape of insects, or to use them as a body. Insect pearl jewelry was really popular in both Paris and a little place called Tiffany's in New York. Art Nouveau also was inspired by natural objects like leaves and plants. Fluid designs that favored a combination of precious and non-precious stones. Horn with gold and pearls was a very, very popular combination. We also see a move towards less symmetrical jewelry. Willem Lucas von Cranach used unusual pearls to illustrate both nature and human emotions. After World War I, jewelry reflected the dramatic change in clothing, with strands of pearls that ranged in length from chokers to past the waist, bracelets that went up to the elbows, long earrings that matched the short hairstyles. Jewelry design saw huge changes in the later 20th century, but pearls still played a major part. The 60s and 70s see a break from traditional gem sets to create more abstract and sculpture-like designs with unconventional settings for pearls. In the 1980s onward became more about novelty of the design than the value of the pearl itself. I can't describe the beautiful works of art that I saw. Student rates are only £6 and it's definitely worth it.